Good morning, nutrition nerds. I thought it would be great to give you lot some quick, easy and healthy breakfast recipes, which are not only delicious, but will also help to fuel your training or recover after a hard session. They'll provide a good balance of carbs, protein and fats, so you know you're going to be setting yourself up well. I eat all three of these breakfasts fairly regularly, and by changing little parts like toppings or fruit, I don't get bored. Just to be clear, these aren't ideal race day breakfasts because they are higher in protein, fiber and fat, but instead an everyday breakfast for healthy, happy triathletes. All recipes and instructions will be in the description. Number 3 is my favorite, and you'll probably be able to see why. And if you're wondering whether it's actually healthy, yes, it is. So let's get into the first of our breakfasts, and that is the infamous overnight oats. Honestly, I love overnight oats because they're easy to make, you can get them ready the night before, and there are so many variations. For this recipe, I use 60 grams of rolled oats, 10 grams of chia seeds, 10 grams of pumpkin seeds, and 10 grams of sunflower seeds. Half a teaspoon of cacao powder, 5 grams of creatine, 10 grams of protein powder, 40 grams of frozen blueberries, 40 grams of frozen cherries, and 200 ml milk of choice. Here I use chocolate oat milk. Give it a good mix, put it in the fridge, and you are good to go. This is the macronutrient breakdown of this meal, and in my humble opinion, it's pretty well balanced, especially for how easy it is. Now, you don't specifically need to use creatine or protein powder, and that is a whole different topic, but it's just what I use for this particular recipe. I have done a video covering whether you need to use protein powders, which I've linked at the top of the screen for you if you're interested. So on to the second breakfast, which is huevos rancheros, which is eggs served with a tomato-based sauce. Super tasty, feels quite special when you make it, but isn't actually that difficult, and it looks awesome too. So if you're going to make it for others, they're going to be impressed. Again, recipe is in the description. The first thing to do is make a radish pickle. Finely slice some radishes and put them into a small bowl. In a small pan, heat some white vinegar, sugar and salt. Once these have dissolved and the mixture begins to boil, pour the liquid into the radish bowl. Anything you don't use today, you can store in a jar in the fridge for future use. Chop up an onion and then heat some oil in a medium-sized non-stick pan. Add the onions and cook until starting to soften. Add the garlic. I cheat here and use frozen chopped garlic as it's such a time saver. And add some chopped jalapenos. Cook for a minute or two and then add in the chopped tomatoes. Let the tomato mixture cook for a minute or two and that it's hot, and then make a little well in the pan. Add a couple of eggs and cook at a slightly lower heat until the whites are cooked through. And you can put a lid on the pan to help with the cooking here. Whilst they're cooking, chop up an avocado and heat some black beans and prepare whatever you're serving your mix on. I had some leftover sourdough bread, so I used that. Traditionally, it's corn tortillas, but just use what you enjoy. Plate it all up and you're good to go. It's easy once you've done it a couple of times and it tastes so good. These are the macros from what I used. Again, you can scale this up or down, and it's not a great race breakfast, but perfect for other times. Now on to the third breakfast, which is pancakes. Yeah, pancakes. If you think pancakes are unhealthy, then think again. They don't have to be unhealthy because it totally depends on how you make them. If you add loads of butter, oil, chocolate and stuff like that, then sure, they start to tip towards the unhealthy side, but there ain't nothing wrong with flour, milk and eggs as a base. I use whole grain flour because it does have a better nutritional profile, but in my opinion, they are still just as enjoyable. In a large mixing bowl, measure 175 grams of wholemeal flour. In a separate bowl, mix 2 eggs with 300 milliliters of semi-skimmed milk. At this point, put the oven onto a low heat so that your pancakes can stay warm as you make them. In the mixing bowl with the flour, create a well in the center and add the milk-egg mixture bit by bit and mix it until you get a smoothish consistency. Because of the wholemeal flour, you'll always find this mixture a little bit lumpy in comparison to white flour, and if it isn't quite to your liking, you could do something like a 50-50 split. If the mix is a bit thick, then you can add a bit more milk. Heat a frying pan on a medium heat with a little bit of oil and then wipe it around. Or alternatively, put some oil in and every time just tip it into a mug to reuse after you've made each pancake. Pour the mixture in, give it a swirl around and then a minute or two to form. Once it's lightly browned, turn it over to do the other side. And if you're feeling really adventurous, you can give it a flip. Put your freshly made pancakes into the oven whilst you make some more and watch your delicious pile of pancakes start to stack up. Once you've made them all, then take them out of the oven, put some tasty toppings on, and enjoy the heck out of them. This is the nutritional data for the whole pancake mix that I mentioned. So depending on how many pancakes you eat and what you put on them, the nutritional value will vary, but this gives you a rough idea. So that is it for today's video. I'd love to know if you're going to try any of these. Let me know in the comments if you decide to or how you get on with them, or if seeing more food and recipe videos is useful for you. As always, if you did find this video useful, then do give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, press the subscribe button and the notification icon. Now, I recently did a video where I talked about how to run a faster 5K by avoiding certain nutrition mistakes. And you can watch that by clicking the video next to me here. So have fun with the training, enjoy your tasty food, and I'll catch you soon.